Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It is Servants. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell. And today I'm going to be showing you all how I created this beautiful t-shirt yarn bucket bag. I nearly said beaded bag. Bucket bag with t-shirt yarn. Now before we get into the video, I just want to say that you should watch the entire video first before you start crocheting your own bag, especially if you're following and crocheting. Make sure you watch the entire video first, because there are some things that I had to correct that I did them way ahead, and you're supposed to know them before some particular steps. So just make sure you watch the entire video before you start crocheting your own bag. Now these are the materials I used to create the bag. So all you need is t-shirt yarn, any type of t-shirt yarn that you have. I think mine is a 0.5 inch t-shirt yarn. I use my 6mm crochet hook, and of course you have your scissors. So to begin, we are going to start with a magic ring, and that's how you do a magic ring. Like, you just cross the yarn over your hand and you make a hole like that. Then you're going to chain one, and that chain one is going to count as a stitch, and you're going to put 5 single crochet into the magic ring. So that means you're going to have 6 single crochet at the start. This is like our row 1, so we're going to have 6 single crochet in our magic ring. So you're just going to single crochet 6. Now when you're done with the 6, you're just going to pull your yarn real tight. Pull your yarn real tight, and you're going to slip stitch into the first chain to close, or into the first stitch to close. And there we are done with row 1. Now for row 2, we are going to do increases. That is, for each stitch we are going to put 2 single crochets inside. So our chain 1 is going to count as a stitch. Then we are going to add another single crochet into that same stitch, and we are going to repeat the same thing in every stitch. So if we had 6 stitches for row 1, that means row 2, if we are increasing all through, we are going to have 12 single crochets. So you're just going to go ahead and single crochet all around, and I'm going to meet you at the end. Now we are at the end of row 2. We're just going to slip stitch into the first stitch and close, and that completes row number 2. Now for row number 3, you really have to pay attention here. We are going to be doing the waistcoat stitch. Now the waistcoat stitch, you're not going to be doing regular single crochets. The hook is not going to enter there. No, it's not going to go into a regular 2 loops, but you're going to find the midpoint between the first stitch and the second stitch, and that is where we are going to insert our hook. The midpoint between the first stitch and the second stitch, that is where we're going to insert our hook. And the pattern for row number 2 is an increase after every 1 stitch. So you skip 1 stitch, then in the next stitch you're going to put 2 single crochets or 2 waistcoat stitches, and the next one you're going to have 1 waistcoat stitch. Then the next stitch you're going to have 2 waistcoat stitch, just like that. I'll just say waistcoat for now and leave it at that, so I won't confuse y'all. But the name of this stitch is called the waistcoat stitch. I'm just going to keep on saying single crochet. So the pattern for row number 3 is you insert a single crochet in the first stitch. In the second stitch you're going to put 2 single crochets there, that is for the increase. The next stitch you're going to have 1 single crochet, then the next stitch 2 single crochet. So that is the pattern you're going to do till you get to the end, and I'm going to meet you there. Okay, when you get to the end, you just slip stitch to join, and for row number 4 we are going to chain 1, and we are going to continue doing the waistcoat stitch. And for this one, the pattern is 2 single crochets, 2 regular single crochets, then on the third stitch we're going to have an increase. So basically what I'm saying is you're going to do 1 single crochet, another 1 single crochet, then on the third stitch you're going to have 2 single crochets in that same stitch. So make sure you don't forget that the chain 1 counts as a stitch. So you're just going to continue this pattern throughout row number 4. So we have 2 stitch increases, and by 2 stitch increases I mean you're going to have 2 regular single crochet stitches, and the third stitch is going to be an increase, and an increase is putting 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So just make sure you do this till you reach the end, and I'll get back to you. Now when you're working, try to loosen up your stitches a bit so your hook is going to be able to pass through the stitch. Now to end row number 4, we are just going to slip stitch to join the row together. Then for row number 5 we are going to chain 1, then we are going to continue the pattern, and this time the pattern is 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and an increase in the next single crochet. So you're just going to do a single crochet normally 3 times, then in the 4th stitch you're going to make an increase. So that is basically row number 5. Now if you don't understand anything, make sure you rewatch it, and please take notes as well, because I remember I said at the beginning of the video that I need to watch the entire clip first to understand it, or you won't be able to make your own piece. So watch the entire video first and make sure you don't skip any part. Now I lost the clip for row number 6, but basically row number 6 is doing normal single crochet throughout the entire circle. So you're just going to do normal single crochet, no increases whatsoever. Now I'm going to give you the stitch count for each row. Row number 1 you have 6 single crochet, row number 2 12 single crochet, row number 3 18, row number 4 24, row number 5 30, row number 6 still 30, and we're just going to continue to row number 7. Now for row number 7 we're just going to chain 1 and turn our circle around to the wrong side, and we are just going to do slip stitches around the entire circle, no increases whatsoever, normal slip stitches. Now to close row number 7 we are just going to slip stitch our slip stitch row, then we are going to chain 1 and turn our work again, and for this row we are going to work single crochets into every slip stitch. So we're just going to work normal single crochets around our base. That slip stitch row helped to make the back to be worked in this straight way, so make sure you don't miss it. Now when you're done with your single crochet row, you're just going to slip stitch to join, and you're going to chain 1. Now guys, pay attention in this part, because what we are going to do now is what I like to call a houndstooth single crochet. So basically you're going to put 1 single crochet right at the bottom, that is going to be our big or long single crochet. Then we are going to do our regular waistcoat single crochet. So you're just going to have some highs and lows for this stitch. I don't know if I'm explaining it well. I don't know what the stitch is called, but you're just going to insert your hook, get a small, like a short stitch, then you're going to do a longer one. Just watch what I'm doing. So as you can see, that long stitch, I took it right from the bottom. Then the short one, I'm doing a regular single crochet. Honestly, I'm calling it a houndstooth single crochet because it looks like a regular houndstooth stitch. So we're going to, that is having like when you work with a houndstooth stitch, you have the double crochet, which is taller, and the single crochet, which is short. Here we have a taller single crochet and a short single crochet. That's the only way I know to explain it to y'all. Then we are going to slip stitch to join our row, obviously. Now an important note that I had to tell you, and I'm sure you can tell that our base was 30, so you have to make sure, if you want to make a bigger size or smaller size of this bag, make sure your number is your ending number is an even number. It has to be an even number. So if you start with a long single crochet, you're going to end with a short single crochet. So that is the way to know. So you start with the long end with the short, and that's the pattern that this long and short alternations is going to create. So just make sure you do this for the entire bag. Now also note that when you're moving up to the next row, if the previous row had a long single crochet, know that on top of that long single crochet you're going to have a short single crochet instead. And another thing, to make your bag firm, when you do a short single crochet, make sure you pull. Now that is a short single crochet I just did there, so I'm going to pull and I'm going to do my long single crochet and do it loosely. Short single crochet, I'm going to pull. So I'm sure I said somewhere in the video that when you're doing your bag, you need to loosen up the stitches so your hook can get through. But when you reach this stage, make sure that your short single crochets, you pull them as hard as you can, and the long single crochets are loose, so the bag is going to gain shape. I ended up working this bag in the round, so but if working it normally with slip stitching to join works for you, do that. But I ended up working it in the round, and it was easier for me that way. So what I'm saying is, work your entire bag in the round. Work your entire bag in the round. It's easier that way, trust me. So as you can see, I'm done with the bag, and that was the starting point I was showing at the bottom. So I'm just going to add the last stitch, then I'm going to slip stitch to join. And you can see yourself that even though I work this bag in the round, you can't really tell, like you don't see no mountains, no hills, no like it's even at the top, you can tell. And to know that your bag is complete, you're going to see it curve on the inside, because I can't even tell the number of rows I did for this bag, but I decided to measure it for y'all so you can know the height. So this bag measured 5 inches for the height, and I measured it in the round. It was approximately 14 inches round. So that's the circumference of the bag. So the height is 5 inches, circumference 14 inches. Now for accessories, I decided to use what I normally use, chains. Of course, I love chains, so I decided to use them. So I just sewed the chains to the brim of the bag. Yeah, I measured it first, and I wanted part of it to dangle at the back, like at the front of the bag, so I just left out a few. Then I'm just going back and forth from the chain and the back and sewing that. So it's really easy to do. So you can add whatever accessories you want. Like the options are endless at this point, so whatever accessories you like, just add it to the back. Like you saw, I added beads, fur. You could add anything that you like, just add it to the back. So here I'm just sewing the chain to the brim. Here I was just trying to tuck in my yarn, trying being the key word, because the stitches were hard and that needle was refusing to pass through. So just look for a way to maneuver your needle and get your yarn across so your bag is nice and secure. So here I just got my pliers, open one side of the chain to insert the other end to it, and yep, our brim is officially done. Now to attach the handle to the back, I use lobster clasp. These type, you could use rings if you have them. And I got more chains, of course. I have more chains because I love chains. Okay, so I just found sort of like the midpoint. Then I just opened the chains, then inserted the bottom of the lobster clasp to the chains. Then I just slot it back in place, and I did the same for the other side, and I connected it to the back. It was that easy. And when you're finally done doing that, your bag is done, it's complete, it's a finish. It's that easy. I know this is a long video, but seriously, this bag is very easy to do. It's very easy. So all you have to do now is add your lining to the bag, and look how pretty it looks. So as you can see, these are some short clips of the bag with fur, with beads. So if you end up making this bag, make sure you tag me on Instagram at servants_cmr, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.